Good morning, church. So my name is Nixon, and at this time of the service we call communion. So we'll be taking communion, and it is a time that we come together and reflect on what the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ means to us as individuals. So today I have the honor to introduce you a sister who recently started dating with a charismatic brother in Sydney, who also known by her strong character. I bring you our sister Millie, here to share her heart about the cross. What does the cross mean to her at this point of life? So she asked me to read a scripture from 1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 16.
Come on, Nixon.
1 Peter, chapter 2, verse 16. Thank you. Right, so it reads, live as free people, but do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. Live as God's slave. Bring you Millie.
Sure. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Nixon. Thanks, everybody. Ready. Let me get situated, y'all. Cool. So yes, my name is Millie, as Nixon mentioned, and today I get to share about what the cross means to me at this point in my life. And what it means is a chance for all. What impact does, I had to ask myself this question this week after reflecting over the last 2 weeks actually, but what impact does the death of a king have on my life? Truthfully, when I look at my past week or 2 weeks, it hasn't had a radical impact at all. The cross is a radical act of love, one that in response calls me to live a life showcasing a radical reciprocation and appreciation of that love. I can look at the cost of the cross, and we usually do that every week on Sundays, as we do now, and I can instantly look at it and just be really grateful for what it brought me in terms of the freedoms of my old life. So gratitude is not something that I naturally struggle with when I look at it. But what I have lacked is forcefully atoning for the part that I play in nailing Christ to the cross and using every opportunity that God gives me to urgently share the gift that I have to others. And for those of you who know me, you know that I value hard work, doing things well, doing them right, valuing order, and meeting needs with the resources that I have. But sometimes I can look at myself and think that these efforts are good and settle for them and think that they're good enough to please God. But they're not. And over the past 2 weeks, God has really exposed my mentality for the betterment of myself. I recently started a new job, which is exciting. And God answered my prayers in so many ways, but at the same time, it's been really challenging. It is interesting to transition from a new environment after 3.5 years of one where you're comfortable and people know you and you've got some sort of status or standing, and then enter into a very smaller team where you're rapidly expected to move quick and learn things very quickly. And I've really seen God show up for me since starting it, and earnestly praying to him and being like, hey God, I really need your help with this situation or that situation, and God bringing me a lot of comfort and confidence through people, whether they be colleagues or friends, even my managers really encouraging me that you're doing a great job and things are new and all that stuff. But at the same time, I really see that I've used this week as one that was very self-focused, very, I need God and I need this and God help me. And as I said, God really answered my prayers, but I don't think I've really matched the faithfulness of God in a way that I should as a disciple. And, as many of you guys know, I look after the finances for the church, and that involves a lot of work. But at the same time, this week I've had very much of the mentality of, okay, work is really stressful, and then I go home and I have to do all this other work. and then I've got to study the Bible with all these people, and then I've got to share my faith with all these people. And it's become very mundane. It's become very taxing when I look at the things that I need to do. And at the same time, no one in this room is different from me. We go to work, we go to uni, we have responsibilities, we have children. We have 2 children, like Fung. People are studying degrees, they're working part-time. And so nothing really excuses us from all the busyness of the day. And it's so funny, Sarah and I were getting tea this morning and coffee, and there was a sign that talked about, it said, no one's busy, it's all a matter of priorities. And when it comes to the cross should be the priority in my life. And I realized, and I love this scripture that Nixon shared, because it says that I'm to use the freedom that God has given me, not as a cover-up for evil, and not to think that I've intently covered up things in my life. But it says, live as God's slaves. And I don't think of this slavery as something that I'm forced to do, but something that I'm liberated to do. To be able to share with people and share with them about what God has done for me. But this past week has very much looked like a me focused type of week. And I really love the fact that I can reflect on the cross and really reflect on each morning with God, and really consider what he's looking at when he's looking at me. And this is not a place of condemnation, but it's a place of reflection. It's a place where I can say with full confidence that God gives me the ability to change every day. And so moving forward, I know even yesterday I was like, I've got to change. I need to go and pray, but I've got to change. And so I sat by the water at night and just did follow up with people. And it was really, again, liberating to be able to share with people and help them to see that, 1, you remembered them, and 2, you've got something to give. You've got something to invite them to, whether it be Women's Day or church or Bible discussion. So I really love this scripture, and I love the cross because it reminds me to be conscious of God. It reminds me to be conscious of the gift that I've been given, and really share it with other people. And so stepping away into this new week, I'm really excited to face whatever challenges come, but really realizing that my life is not about myself. It's not about my needs, because God's going to meet them anyway, as he's done for me since the day I was born. But it's more so of a time to really focus on the needs of other people, and really help them draw closer to the cross, whether it be through Bible study or sharing my faith. And so that is what the cross means to me, a chance for all.